Hello everyone, my name is Meme Guns and I'm planning to do the reactions right now so that later on when Jasmine drops Kakarot, if she does, I'll be able to do that without have to, you know, suffer through doing all this. So let's go. I'm gonna turn this on because this one got jump scares.
This happened about 2 years ago. I needed a place to live as I just split up with my girlfriend, and then I had to move out of her place. My friend Paul told me he knew someone who owned a house and that he was renting it out, and said I could live there until I found my own apartment. His name was Dean.
He
I
don't
didn't
look
know the guy
trustable.
very well, if at all, and only met him once, but Paul vouched for him, so I decided to move into the house. I arrived at the house and Dean
Uh-uh.
showed me around. The
He
house was
look like a
nice enough,
creepo.
lots of space, nice front garden, and it was close to where I work. As I was looking around, I noticed there was a padlock on the hatch to the attic. When I asked him what was up there, he just told me there's nothing important up there, just some personal belongings. I didn't think anything of it at the time, as I didn't really know him. He was pretty much a stranger, so I didn't really blame him to keeping his possessions locked away. My first night there, I woke up at around 2 a.m. to use the bathroom. I headed back to my bedroom when I heard a noise coming from the attic. It
Don't go
sounded
up
like
there.
something was being dragged across the floor.
Mm-mm.
I thought it was just the wind, or the house making noise, as that happens sometimes.
Yeah,
The
just leave
next
it
night, I
alone.
heard the same noise coming from the attic again, this time waking me up. I sat up and concentrated on the noise. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what it
Mm-mm.
was. I
Leave it
thought maybe it
alone.
was rats or something. There wasn't much I could do anyway, as the attic was locked shut. The next day, I decided to text Dean and ask him about what could be making the noises in the
Don't even
attic.
ask him.
He just said, "Oh, it's nothing. Probably just a bird that got in there or something." For every night for the next week, I could hear
Mm-mm.
the same noises coming from the attic,
Don't go up there and
and it
check.
woke me up more times than not. One night, I had enough. I got some bolt
Mm-mm.
cutters, and I cut the padlock off, and I pulled the ladder down and headed up there. When I was there looking in the attic, it was dark, like really dark. I couldn't see a thing. I had to go back down and get a candle. I didn't have a flashlight yet, and my phone was an old Blackberry that didn't have a light on it. I shunned the candlelight around.
Why would
As I
you?
got into the attic, I couldn't really see much, mostly boxes and a few sports equipment. As I was searching around, I tripped over some boxes, knocking them on the floor, and some photos fell out. I set my candle down to pick them up. As I was putting them back, I looked closely at one of them.
Oh.
It was a woman tied up with a pig mask on her face.
Mm-mm.
I thought this was a bit weird, but some people are into that type of thing. I looked through some more. It was the same thing, just women tied up and pig mask on their faces. And then I came across another one. This time, someone was next to the woman, and it was Dean. The woman looked to be in a lot of pain, and she was crying and looked like she was screaming while Dean looked at, I don't know, he just looked like he was laughing while holding a knife right up to her face. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and my
Should
heart
have
started
mind his
racing as
own
I scrambled
business.
through the photos looking at more and more of these women being tortured by Dean. I felt sick to my stomach and wanted to throw up. I was about to head down, and I was going to call the police when I heard a noise across on the other side of the attic. The same noise that's been waking me up every single night.
Nope.
I slowly wandered over to where the noise was
Nope.
coming from. There was a blanket.
Should
It
have
was
mind
covering
his own
something up, and
business.
I pulled the blanket back and I jumped out of my skin and fell down to the ground in shock. There was a woman gagged and chained to the floor. She had bruises on her body and a black eye. I quickly ungagged her and got the bolt cutters, and I set her free. She was very weak and couldn't really talk. She was dehydrated and hungry. I quickly called the police and the ambulance right away. I told the police everything, and they soon found Dean and arrested him at this house. The woman I found was actually reported missing about 6 weeks ago. Dean was sentenced and charged with kidnapping, torture, false imprisonment, and other things. Thankfully, the woman made a full recovery, physically at least.
I swear y'all need to stop with that jump scare mess. But you know what? He was real brave to go up in that attic.